I'm O.W. Root, and this is Pleasant Peninsula. My family and I, we go offline every Saturday. We don't use our phones, we don't use our computers, and we just spend the day together. It's good for us, we get to reconnect. It's good for me, my mind is clearer than it is the entire week. You know, the technological world tends to grind us down, and getting off and away from that is good for the heart, good for the mind, good for the soul. But it's really interesting, you also notice more of the things around you when you're not distracted by your phone. And I say it's interesting, but interesting might not really be the right word. It might just be obvious. Of course, if you don't have something buzzing away in your pocket, you're going to notice the books on the bookshelf that you didn't notice before. You're going to notice the clouds more. You're just going to sit there and look up at the sky. You're going to see the planes overhead more. You're going to notice things that you don't notice otherwise because you're not distracted. You see more of the world that you actually inhabit and less of the world that you don't inhabit, the world on that little screen. And on Saturday evening, one of my kids ran in and said, "There's a hot air balloon, there's a hot air balloon." And we all ran outside and looked up and saw there was a hot air balloon floating across the sky. And we all got on our shoes and we walked down the street to a big field, and there were other people there also watching the hot air balloon. We started talking to our neighbors. One of them was a close neighbor, a couple houses down, and some of the people were a couple streets down, but we'd all seen them around, walking their dogs or just out for a walk or driving their car or anywhere. And we all sort of stood there, I don't know, 5 or 6 of us, and talked a little bit, talked about the weather, talked about the weekend, talked about the hot air balloons, speculated where these hot air balloons were going to land. Were they landing in this field over here, that field over there, on the tennis court or on the football field, whatever. And we stood there and we connected with one another. Not about anything deep. It wasn't anything grand or philosophical. We were talking about the hot air balloons, the things above us, the world around us. There's something beautiful in that. There's something so beautiful in that. You know, we can get sucked in our phones and just, it's dark. There's so much dark stuff out there that can really get us down. It's easy to do, to get in that loop, get in a loop of doom and getting depressed. It's easy to do. But when we put it away and we get outside and look up and focus on the world in front of us, the world around us, the world that we can change, the world that we interact with, the people we love, the people we know, and the people we maybe just see walking down the street here and there. It's good for us. It reminds us of something that we can't get on the internet. Life can be beautiful, even in the mundane. The planes flying overhead, the hot air balloons floating, us in the neighborhood talking about where they would land, connecting with one another face to face rather than through the screen. That's a gift of putting away the phone and getting out into the real world. And it's a great one. Bay Harbor. It's a beautiful, pristine settlement in between Petoskey and Charlevoix. It's safe. So safe you could probably sleep on the street or the sidewalk and wake up the next morning and you'd be just fine. The windows are always shined. The grass is always mowed. There's a little shopping district downtown where you can buy coffee, ice cream, sandwiches, clothes, art, yachts, and houses. There's a golf course. There's a concert hall. On paper, Bay Harbor, which is right on Lake Michigan, is perfect. But it's not real. Because perfect can't be real. Real is something hard to explain, hard to get our finger on. We know it, but we can't really describe it. You can have nice things that are real. You can have safe things that are real, or safe places and nice places. And they can be real. Petoskey and Charlevoix, sandwiching Bay Harbor on both sides, those are both very safe and very nice. And both very real. You know, Charlevoix downtown looks like a bookshelf that you just kept cramming books in. Everything just is packed in tight, tiny little places to eat and drink. Everything is gorgeous, but it's not perfect. It's real. Petoskey, there are all these little alleys behind the shops and cutting through the blocks, and there's paint chipping. It's imperfect. It's beautiful. It's Instagrammable. And it's real. And you know, Charlevoix and Petoskey are two towns. Bay Harbor isn't a town in the same way those two places are towns. So it might be more helpful to compare Bay Harbor to Bayview. Bayview is also real. It started in the late 1800s, and it was a planned community, like Bay Harbor was a planned community. It's very similar. Beautiful houses, there's a golf course, there's concert hall, planned community. It's 100 years older than Bay Harbor. And it looks like it came from a mid-century painting, or earlier, early 20th century painting. Every single scene is just gorgeous. And it's so real and natural and organic. Maybe it's the time. It makes you wonder that it's got 100 years head start on Bay Harbor. The grass was allowed to become less perfect. The railings are allowed to rust a little bit. The steps have moss on them. Those things are beautiful, and they're not perfect, and they're so real. So we can't blame Bay Harbor for not being old. And yet, I'm not sure Bay Harbor will ever age like Bayview has aged. When I really look at these Bayview houses and these Bayview buildings, all the architecture, it's aged so well. It's classic, it's timeless. I'm not sure those Bay Harbor buildings are quite as timeless, quite as classic. I'm not sure the builders had the foresight that the builders of Bayview did. And I understand that our memories and our perception of time in the past can be clogged by nostalgia. But I'm not sure that's what's happening here. There may indeed be something different. And this isn't to cut on Bay Harbor. This isn't some sort of high indictment. No, I think that the designers and the creators of Bay Harbor did their best. It might be the best you can do when building a new planned community. But it doesn't feel real. It's not real. And it's a question about the possibility of building new places, settling new places, and making them feel like home. Is it possible? It's a modern question. It's a question for the modern world. It's a question for the future. I'm not sure there's an easy answer. The gift of time might bless us, bless Bay Harbor, but maybe there's something we're missing that they had, some sort of foresight, some sort of aesthetic sensibility, some sort of organic realness. I don't know the answer, but it's worth thinking about. Is it possible to build new places that still feel like home, still feel real? I'm O.W. Root for Michigan Enjoyer.